do I still want to do this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Cause you know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Right?
Yeah. And then I want to come back. Or some people say, I'm going to go 22 straight. And, you know what I'm saying? So it's a contract I feel like you got to have with yourself too, in order for you to be a, you know, great ball player or to have a long career. That's the goal, to be in the league for 20 years. I tell you, that's the goal.
But that wasn't the goal.
I want to go on the court with the NBA. Where's Kevin Durant and his legacy? Is he being tarnished? Where are you at with him? You mentioned your top 7 guys. Where are you at with what's happened recently with Durant, with the Suns, and of course with Brooklyn?
Yeah, you know, Kevin's a great player. I think that his legacy is complicated. You know, I don't like any guys who join super teams. I'm biased against LeBron when it comes to comparing him to Michael, joining Dwayne and those guys. Because, you know, when we had this debate, and LeBron's amazing and spectacular, but I was like, Michael didn't join anybody. He just kept getting his ass kicked and got bigger and got stronger and finally knocked the wall down. And, you know, Kevin, who's a great player, you know, other than the fact when he joined the Warriors, he hasn't been successful anywhere else. And I don't hold that against him, but he wants to be considered in that list. He's not on that list. He's not on that list. He's a great, great player, but he's not on that list. He wants to be like, wow, he's not in a GOAT conversation, because you're not, plain and simple. You had great success when you joined the Warriors, but not only did you not have success, you actually flamed out in those other places. You got swept last year in the playoffs. You didn't even make the play-in this year.
What began as a seemingly harmless laugh quickly spiraled into a full-scale NBA controversy. Kevin Durant made a joking comment about Michael Jordan stepping away from basketball to play baseball, and LeBron James laughed along beside him. What looked like a casual moment instantly ignited the internet and struck a nerve deep within basketball's old guard. The reaction was swift and intense, led by Charles Barkley, who clearly felt today's stars had crossed a line. On live television, Barkley unleashed an unfiltered response, calling out what he saw as entitlement, softness, and a lack of respect for a league that was once defined by toughness, sacrifice, and heart. The studio fell silent, the hosts looked stunned, and within minutes, social media erupted as fans, analysts, and former players flooded timelines with clips from the 1980s and 1990s, reminding everyone of an era when basketball carried a different edge. What made the moment even more powerful was that Barkley wasn't standing alone. His comments sparked something bigger than a single rant. It became a rallying cry. The old guard had drawn a clear line in the sand, delivering a direct message to today's stars: respect the history or be prepared for serious pushback. To understand why this moment exploded the way it did, you have to look beyond the joke itself and examine the long simmering tension between LeBron, Durant, and the legends of Michael Jordan's era. This is no longer just about player comparisons. It's a full-blown cultural clash between two generations with very different values. The controversy traces back to an episode of the Mind the Game podcast, where what started as casual conversation turned into a pointed jab. Durant made a slick, dismissive remark about players who quit basketball to play baseball, clearly referencing Jordan's first retirement. The rant landed cold, with no hesitation or nuance, and LeBron's laughter only amplified the sting. That moment felt less like humor and more like a deliberate shot, revealing how some modern superstars view the legends who built the league before them. The laugh wasn't just awkward, it felt intentional, exposing an ongoing effort by parts of today's generation to subtly rewrite history and diminish the sacrifices of those who paved the way.
League. I thought you were about to say some shit about the 90s.
Only one of us was in the
We're
league.
down with the 90s.
That team, that 90s bled into the early 2000s.
LeBron James has been quietly pushing this narrative shift for years. When he once said, "We done with the 90s," many people brushed it off as trash talk, but longtime fans recognized it for what it really was, a message rooted in confidence, ego, and control of the narrative. It wasn't a throwaway line. It was part of a larger effort to steer the GOAT conversation in his favor. That's why this recent laugh wasn't just a joke, it was a statement that sent shockwaves through basketball culture. Rather than building their legacies without comparison, it increasingly feels like LeBron and Kevin Durant have tried to tear down the past with subtle jabs, treating the old school era as primitive and outdated, as if those legends didn't endure real pain, real battles, and real competition. The truth is simple. Michael Jordan never begged for a super team, never ran from challenges, and never asked for shortcuts. He stayed, fought, and won. 6 times. The rings, the numbers, and the legacy speak for themselves. Yet, listening to how LeBron and KD discuss that era, you'd think Jordan was just another name in the record books. That's what made the backlash so explosive, because this time someone finally fired back. When Charles Barkley speaks, the room shakes, and this time he didn't hold anything back. In a fiery interview, Barkley didn't just criticize LeBron and KD's comments, he challenged what they represent. He said today's stars skip the grind, chase shortcuts, and want greatness without enduring the hard parts. No patience, no loyalty, just headlines and ring chasing. Then Barkley dropped the line that froze the studio. If you want to be in the GOAT conversation, you can't keep building super teams. That statement landed like a freight train. Barkley wasn't chasing drama or clout, he was demanding respect. He said out loud what many retired legends only whisper privately. Real respect in this league isn't earned through podcasts, tweets, or highlight reels. It's earned through sweat, sacrifice, and loyalty when everything starts falling apart. And Barkley wasn't done. He turned directly to Durant and asked the question mainstream media avoids. What has Kevin Durant truly accomplished outside of Golden State? The silence said everything. Swept in Brooklyn, missing the playoffs in Phoenix, and no rings without Steph Curry. KD is an all-time scorer, but leading like Jordan is a different level, and Barkley made that distinction impossible to ignore. That leads to the bigger question. Why did today's stars feel so insecure? How can two of the most accomplished players of this generation still feel the need to throw shade at a man who retired decades ago? The answer is uncomfortable. LeBron has lived under Jordan's shadow since day one, and no amount of records, MVPs, or finals appearances has erased those 6 perfect championship rings. Every season without a 6th ring sharpens the comparison, and the frustration leaks out through subtle shots at the era he can't surpass. With KD, the struggle is different. His championships came on a team he didn't build, and deep down he knows fans don't place him alongside Jordan, Kobe, or even Steph. That lack of validation stings, and instead of creating a new legacy, he keeps trying to reshape the old one. Barkley saw all of this coming and issued a warning louder than any headline. Respect can't be rewritten, bought, or manufactured. It has to be earned the hard way. And the irony is brutal. By mocking the legends, LeBron and KD are setting themselves up for the same treatment. One day, a new generation will dismiss them the same way they dismissed the 90s. LeBron will become overrated to fans who never watched him live, and KD will be remembered as a scorer who needed Steph. The cycle always repeats. That's why Barkley's words hit so hard. He wasn't just defending Jordan, he was defending basketball itself. The grind, the loyalty, and the sacrifice that built the league before social media and clickbait took over. The backlash Barkley warned about isn't coming, it's already here. LeBron's carefully crafted image is beginning to crack. Between podcasts, carefully timed interviews, and constant GOAT talk, it feels less like basketball and more like narrative control. He's no longer just chasing rings, he's chasing relevance. And the harder he tries to shape the story, the more obvious the cracks become. Moments like laughing at Jordan's most painful chapter expose that vulnerability. Every smirk and slick jab chips away at the foundation he spent decades building. That isn't confidence, it's arrogance, and it's catching up fast. In the end, Barkley said what many legends have been thinking for years. LeBron and KD crossed a line by turning one of the most emotional moments in basketball history, Jordan stepping away after his father's death, into a punchline. They assumed no one would challenge them. Barkley did, and the entire basketball world felt it. The GOAT debate has never been just about stats or longevity. It's always been about respect. Respect for the grind, the struggle, and the legacy that built the game before social media and clickbait took over. And in that category, Michael Jordan still stands alone.